we all know how important feeding plays when it comes to animal production, or let's narrow it down to rabbit production. Okay, we know that feeding your rabbits a balanced diet is going to give you the required outputs that you seek for. Okay, but when you decide to go on a commercial level, you realize that the format in which you feed your animals changes a bit. I'm actually talking about the concentrates or the pellets we feed to our rabbits. Okay, but now you not only require the concentrates or the pellets that you feed to your animals, but you still need to supplement it with some leaves, grasses, and also some herbs as well to get your optimum performance. You realize that in the wild, rabbits don't have access to concentrates or pellets. So the major question is, what do they eat, right? What do they eat? Well, it will fascinate you to know that rabbits in the wild actually don't eat much of greens. Okay, in the wild they don't eat much of greens. What they eat is dry matter. Okay, from the section that I come from, we realize that during the harvesting periods, let's take either maize or granuts. You realize that when they go to harvest them, then they pile them up. You realize that rabbits go there to later, they go there to give birth. Okay, and the simple reason behind it is that when these bunnies start to grow and start to feed on solid material, they are going to start feeding on the dry grasses of the granates. Okay, they are going to feed on the dry matter of the granates or the dry matter of the corn, which is the corn plants. Okay, so we're going to be going over some few grasses, leaves, and herbs that you could use to supplement your rabbits, because there are times where your feed is going to run out. And when such happens, the major question would be, what do I feed my rabbits until I'm able to purchase concentrates for my rabbits? I hear that people say you can solely depend on concentrates when raising up your animals, and it's true. You can depend on it, but one thing you need to realize is that we wouldn't want to change the digestive system of the animal, because in the world they don't have access to premix. Okay, they don't have access to premix, they don't have access to multivitamins, but they do access these minerals and vitamins from other plants, which we will bring to the animal, because it's your sole responsibility as the farmer or as the caretaker to take care of the animal, provided with all the necessary or essential nutrients that the animal require. Okay, so like I said, we are going to go in over some few leaves. When I was listing these leaves, I was contemplating, because not all these leaves are going to be available where you are. For the viewers currently watching me, I know not all these plants, leaves, and herbs are going to be available where you are. So I decided to stream it down to the very common one, the commonest ones that we can easily have access to. And most of these we can easily cultivate them in our backyards or in our gardens, so that we can use them to feed our animals. So without further ado, but just before that, our usual routine, please go down to the subscriptions button. If you haven't subscribed, please go down there, do the needful, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, okay, so that you'll be notified anytime we drop a post or a video. Okay, all right, so let's get right quick into the video. So first on our list will be my personal favorite, which is the banana slash the plantain leaf, either banana or plantain leaf. I think they all go together. Yeah, so if you have access to banana or plantain, or if you don't even have access to them, you can get the banana shoots, then you plant it in your backyard or in your garden, so that you can use it as a supplement to your animals. This once you plant this banana or plantain plants, it can easily be cut and fed to your animals. There are some times where I even have feed. There's feed in in the rabbitry, but I prefer to feed them banana or plantain leaf. But one thing I would be mentioning, one thing that is going to be recurring throughout this video will be that feed it when it is wilted. Okay, so now let me explain what wilting is. Okay, so wilting is simply the act of when you cut feed for your animals, you place it in the shade, not in the sun, in the shade. You place it in the shade for it to lose some of its liquid content in it. Because banana, like you realize that when you cut banana instantly, you start seeing some liquid dropping from the leaf. Okay, so it tells you it has a lot of liquid in it. So it means you have to cut it and dry it in the shade, let's say for some 2 to 3 hours before you feed it to your animals. Let me remind you that rabbits are monogastrics. Okay, rabbits are monogastrics, meaning they have a single stomach. So whatever goes inside there must come out. If it doesn't come out, it means there's a problem somewhere. Okay, so you need to ensure that the banana leaf or the plantain leaf you're feeding your animal is well wilted, so that you can give it to your animal knowing very well that you are not introducing a problem into its digestive system. Because rabbits, their digestive system is very, very sensitive. They easily absorb changes. Okay, so next on our list is going to be I don't know whether I think it's a herb, because I was doing some research and I realized that it was actually used for a medicinal purpose. So the next is Tradax. Now this is equally very common, especially within where we are, up north here. It's very common. Tradax is they have this yellowish flower when they are about maturing, a yellowish flower, and the leaves are very, very small, but it's good for rabbits. Rabbits absolutely love this plant. Okay, you can easily feed Tradax to your animals, but remember, feed it when wilted. Okay, feed it when wilted. It's not it doesn't contain much liquid, but it's good you still dry it and you feed to your animals. Now this can equally be fed to your pregnant does. It can be fed to your winners. Okay, and it can equally be fed to your adult rabbits as well. But one thing I'll tell you is that please feed these things, feed it in a scheduled form. What I'm simply trying to say is that don't solely rely on these plants just to be feeding your animal. I know somebody will ask, can rabbits solely depend on grasses and leaves? And the answer is yes. Rabbits can solely depend on grasses and leaves, but you are not going to get the optimal requirements you want from them. Okay, you are not going to get the optimal requirements you want from them. So let me cite a scenario for you. So rabbits in a day require the maximum of that's when you're feeding concentrates or pellets to your rabbits. They require about 150 grams. Just 150 grams of the concentrates is sufficient for them. Okay, but you realize that if you are someone who is depending solely on greens or leaves to feed your animal, you would require much quantity of that leaves or plants that you are feeding to your animal, which will be a problem for you. Imagine you have, let's say, about 30 to 50 rabbits. So it literally means that you have to go out and search for feed to come give to your animals, which is going to be hectic at some point. Okay, so solely depending on greens, it's good. That's if you are just doing it for, let's say you are just doing it as a hobby, or maybe you are treating it as a pet in your home. I think you are good to go. But if you bring the business sense into it, I don't think it will be rational to solely depend on the greens, because it's not going to give you the required output you want, because the rabbits won't mature on time. You are going to get higher mortalities, because let's take it that you are feeding something like the banana leaf I mentioned earlier on to your animals, not wilted. It means you'll be getting a lot of bloating issues on your farm, which is going to lead to a lot of deaths. Okay, so that's just my point of view. Feeding your rabbit solely on greens or on plants only. Okay, so let's move on. Our next plant will be potato leaf, sweet potato leaf. Okay, I think this is something that we can that is widely available in Africa. It's widely available in Africa, and I think this is something that we can easily cultivate. That's if you don't have it on your farm. You can easily cultivate it on your farm or on your backyard and feed it to your animals. It's a creeping plant. It easily grows and easily multiplies to spread a larger area, which means you can harvest it for several weeks to feed to your animal. But remember, again, feed it wilted. Okay, so next would be the bitter leaf. Now when I was compiling this list, I had the second thought of making a separate video for plants that are used to treat various diseases. So let me know in the comment section if you like us to create a video like that, as in natural organic plants and herbs that are used to treat rabbit known diseases. Let's take it that in bloating, coccidiosis, deworming. There are various plants that could be used to treat the various diseases that I just mentioned. So just feel free and let me know if you want me to do something like that. I think we can put resources together, then let's see how it goes. But bitter leaf is something that you can feed to your animals. It's also something that you can easily cultivate if you don't have it on your farm or on your backyard. Okay, you can easily, I think it's propagated by the stem. Well, at least how I brought it to my farm was by stem. What you do is you just cut the stem, then you plant it in the place you want it to grow, then you give it the necessary water, then some amount of fertilizer, then I think you're good to go and it will be fine. So once in a while, it's used as an antibiotics. Okay, now you can feed this, let's take it at twice a week. Every 2 weeks you can feed it to the whole flock. But now I'll tell you to be very careful when it comes to the winners, especially I'm placing much emphasis on the winners. The problem is that they are still developing their digestive system, and when you introduce such things frequently, it's going to introduce a lot of gases and liquids into their tummies, which is going to affect them. Okay, and they are, as young as they are always very fragile. They are not very strong to fight said disease. Okay, so I would say let's take it at twice a week for winners, then once in every 2 weeks for the rest of the flock. And also I would say when it comes to pregnant does, also try to be very careful when you're feeding pregnant does. Things like let's take it aloe vera. Now aloe vera is very dangerous when it's fed to pregnant does. They easily abort. So no, it's a no-go area. Okay, don't feed aloe vera to your pregnant does. Please take note of that. Okay, so let's get back to our list. So our next leaf, it's what I'm literally sitting under. It's the mango tree. Okay, now most people don't know about this, but mango tree actually has a lot of protein in the leaf that you could feed to your animals. Okay, now I think this one is equally a good initiative. This means you could equally feed it to your animals to supplement for the protein content. Okay, so let me even cite a scenario for you. We have a lot of mango trees in our yard. Okay, and from time to time there are times that the mango trees overgrow, so means you need to prune them. Okay, so it means that if you have rabbits around, you could easily cut the parts that you want to cut ensure that the mango tree grows well. You could feed those leaves to your animals, but remember, you are going to feed them wilted. Okay, you can cut these leaves and feed to your animals. So it means there's literally no wastage. Okay, in a way, I think the rabbit farming collaborates with it. Okay, as in they make use of the waste. Okay, they make use of the waste, which is the leaves you would have cut and thrown away. Okay, so next on our list is going to be the moringa leaf. Now we all know how important or valuable moringa leaf is to us as human beings, and it equally applies to rabbits as well. Now moringa leaves can be fed to them as feed and can also be given to them as medicine. Okay, I think I have a friend and a farmer who dedicated his channel or his farm by naming it Moringa Farms. And I've not asked him personally. He goes by the name of Mr. Francis, and his farm is called Moringa Farms. But you could guess the rationale behind it. It's literally because of the essential nutrients and uses that moringa comes with. That he decided to name his farm as Moringa Farms. Okay, so this moringa leaf is equally an option that you could take advantage of. You can plant it on your backyard or in your garden, and from time to time you can cut the leaves, dry the leaves, then feed to your animals. I've even seen cases where they were making pellets, and what they did was that they harvested these leaves, came and dried them, then they crushed the leaves, then they added it to the feed. Okay, and I think it's equally the same thing as the pawpaw leaf that we normally the pawpaw powder that we make from the pawpaw leaf. Okay, it's basically the same procedure. I think 1 or 2 days I would find time, then if we can get some leaves, then I'll take you through how we make the moringa powder. Okay, so this is Lusan, a native of the alfalfa grass. Now this leguminous tree, it's a legume, but except this grows into a full tree, so it can be propagated either by seed or you can propagate it by the stem. Okay, so what you do is you cut the stem and you can propagate it. It equally acts as a good source of protein for your rabbits. So our next one is going to be jute malo. Now I was contemplating whether to add this plant or not. Now jute malo grows during the rainy season, especially during the rainy season. Now it's always very available. You can feed it to your animals. Okay, if you have a garden that in the dry season that you are irrigating it, you would still see some amount of jute malo growing along the sides of the garden. And I think instead of just uprooting them and throwing away, you could give to your animals. Okay, they could convert it to muscles. Okay, they'll convert it to meat. Okay, and it's a good option that you could take advantage of. And the very last one would be dandelion. Now this is equally very important to us as humans. Dandelion is consumed by human beings, and it can equally be consumed by rabbits as well. But the main thing still remains: feed to them watered. Okay, dandelion equally has liquid in it, and if you feed it directly freshly to your animals, remember you are introducing a lot of gases and liquids into your rabbits. When you know very well rabbits have a single stomach, okay, you'll have problems getting rid of the gases in the tummies. Okay, so now I think these are basically some few grasses that I've thought of. It's not arranged in any order, I just listed them out for you. So if you have them around your yard, please take advantage of them. Use them to supplement your feed. Okay, because you can't be depending solely on the concentrates. It's not going to help. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the video. Please do your part by going to give us a like and a subscription if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel. Okay, and also share the video with friends and family who have interest in farming. Okay, until I see you in the next one, it's a goodbye for now. Stay safe.